Si når du trykker.
Live!
Welcome to Jamstack Pirates, a rum-fueled treasure hunt in the sharky waters around the Jamstack Islands with Queen Raae.
And
I'm your co-host, Captain Ola Vea, and today's guests is the great and powerful pirate princess Millie Ann Tilly and Glitterglasur
Hello.
og rød. What is glasur in English?
icing.
Icing. Glitter icing. Glitter
It's-
icing. Red, eller rød da på norsk.
Yeah.
In Norwegian, yes.
That would be correct. That would
That
be correct.
Okay.
So let's retweet this, or not retweet. I don't need to retweet the stream. You need to retweet this
I
on
shall
Twitter.
retweet it.
And if you are watching, head on over to @Ray and retweet. Retweet. Are you retweeting? So it's been a while.
Okay.
I fell off a horse. So I had to spend less times with screens for a week and a little extra. So it's been a while since stream, but I think we're done enough to like get right back on the horse. I'm so funny. I see Stephen in the chat. Hello.
Hello, Steven! LOL!
LOL. That's what
That's
we're
good.
going for here at the Rum Fueled Treasure Hunts around the Gemstick
Hello.
Islands.
He
Yeah.
says hello, that's Norwegian. Very good.
Yeah. So, what's our tiny task?
More accounts like this? Something? Oh, I have the old one here. Was it more accounts like this?
More accounts like this for Prune Your Follows is what we want to do. But we're going to be playing in on a demo project so that we don't have to take all of Prune Your Follows into consideration. But yes, more like this account I'm going to share. So I've done some prep work because the other day I've been playing with semantic search to see how we could use that in Prune Your Follows. And I created this little example. So let's do Germany here. And then we'll get 3 different types of results. I don't know why we're not getting any. Oh, probably because it's not a big G. So for plain text results that we can see all the way on the left, you have to have an exact match on the word. That's kind of like a typical database search. And then we have our full text or fuzzy search from Xata that we've used before. And then all the way on the right, we're using semantic search, which actually can kind of deduct the meaning of Germany and give us things like location Freiburg Basel is actually in Germany, hopefully, or maybe it's this little flag. But as you can see, it doesn't really say Germany in
Freiburg is it is Germany.
Yeah. So it doesn't say Germany in this box. Like this box says Germany, like this account is Germany, this account is Germany, this account says Germany. But as you can see, we could get look at
but it's not really Germany though, because it's Basel too. He's both places.
Yeah, but then so with semantic search, it's like the semantic meaning of the thing. And we can see here, like
What
this
does that
account
mean
that
then?
almost has no information. It actually matches the German flag emoji towards Germany. And I think that might be what's been happening here as well. Like it understands that is the German flag emoji. So it's matching it towards Germany. And it's also kind of fun. I did Norway for a demo on Twitter. And you can see here, it doesn't say Norway, but it's in Norwegian. It says Oslo.
So
If
I'm writing not Germany.
Let's see.
No, in my Twitter thing.
Yeah.
If I have not Germany anymore, I moved in my Twitter profile. Will it still? Is that so? I don't get. What is semantic? What does it mean?
So semantic kind of means the meaning behind the word, I think.
Okay, so if I say not Germany, then maybe we will get it on Germany because it's
Yeah, so I did not Germany, Germany, and it
But
still matches Germany.
Okay. So if it's got something to do with Germany, it's coming up. Okay, good,
So
good.
semantic so semantic means related to meaning in language or logic. So I'm going to showcase. So I'm not going to show you how to do plain text and fuzzy search. We've done that before, but I'm going to show you how semantic works. And then my plan or my idea for this stream is that we should be able to click on any of these accounts and then get like more like this in a new column here. And then we're going to use kind of the semantic search again, because then we'll get we're going to use the full input of one account and then see what we're getting back here or here as related or like, similar accounts, I guess, over here. But then let's first just like talk about semantic. So with semantic search, we need to have something that it can search, like the search term needs to be in a specific way. And then every account needs to have this specific thing so that we can search these towards each other. And those are called embeddings. So if we look at our Xata database, we have all this information, but it can't really search towards all of this kind of on its own. So what we have to do is that we have to ask OpenAI to create, and like this is new knowledge for me, so I'm just trying to talk through it also to understand it more myself. So we have to ask OpenAI to take to create something called an embedding from each of these rows. And an embedding takes as an input a text string, and then what we get back is a vector, and a vector is just a version of numbers, which is let's do define vector as well. It's a mathematical term.
Yes.
So a quantity having direction as well as magnitude, especially as determining a position of one point in space relative to another. So what I understand this thing is doing is that it's creating it's taking all that text and creating a point in the vast knowledge that is OpenAI, and then it's saying like this text is over here, or it's actually in multiple places. And then when we create another embedding, it's also in multiple places. And then when we do vector search, it sees like, okay, what points from the first embedding are closest to the second embedding. Okay, and this is magic math that I don't know how it's computed.
Okay, so let's make it into Ola speak.
Yes.
So you're saying that we have this kind of thing, AI thing, which is actually a map. It's a treasure map. And then you kind of put a point up there, which is the what do you call it? Profile? No. What was it?
Embedding.
No. What was the actual point? You're going to put up a point, and that point is a profile, avatar.
Yeah. So we take one of the information from one account, and then
we take an account. So the account is basically the text that is we can see here within each square.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So that's like the treasure. That's a treasure. And then we put it on a map, and then you say, okay, so which accounts are close to this on the map?
Yes.
But what is close? How close is close?
And that's like the magic of this, which I don't understand yet. It's like it's taken kind of a lot of its knowledge, and then it's like spread it into a literal map, a knowledge map or knowledge graph, I think. And then it puts in, and then it says like this embedding but I think it can be in multiple places, so that it looks at the text and like, okay, this part of the text is very related to kind of maybe geography, and the geography is over here, and then Germany is here, and then of course like if there's a Freiburg is in, then that's in here. And then it puts kind of that one account can have one space, like can have one point within this area of knowledge. And then maybe web developer is, in another, tech, and then web. And then that point is over here.
I know it now.
Yeah.
This is what you do. So let's say we take this Daniel D guy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we're taking Daniel D. He's the treasurer. And put him up. And then we get like, okay, more accounts like him. And then we get like the number 1 is the closest one. And then number 2 is second closest. So it's not, we're not saying we want stuff close to him. We want him on a map. We want a prioritized list of who is closest, and then yeah, okay, I see. Good.
So the way I've created these embeddings is that you have to make those ahead of time. So we have 5,000 accounts because these are just the people I follow. That's what we're working with today. So I've taken all of those accounts and then I've created an embedding for each of them. And the input that I used was name colon, then the name. Because I think like if you do name colon, like then OpenAI kind of can categorize that part of the string better. But I don't know. Name, record name, and then the username, and then we have the location, the description. But then I also added in followers, number of followers, and numbers of following, which we don't see right now. So maybe we'll just skip that. Well, I can't.
Wait, stop.
Now, but,
Why don't you call it follows? That's what the terminology we've been using.
We've been using, but then Twitter has been using following. So the trained, like OpenAI's trained data will probably not have used our term.
I see. Okay.
So I've created this embedding. And then when we do semantic search, what we do is that we take the terminology, so Germany, and then we create a new embedding. So we can create embeddings on the fly, but we're only allowed to hit the create embedding endpoint so many times. So what you usually do is that you create an embedding for all the data that you have imported, and you have that kind of statically in your database. And then we take the search query coming in, which here is Germany, and then we create an embedding for that search term. And then we do something called a vector search that can actually do a search comparing then our the term embedding to the embeddings that have been created for every account.
Great.
So we don't have to do any of this math. So the vector search here is super complex. The create embeddings, super complex, but we're asking OpenAI to create the embeddings, and then we are asking Xata to do our vector search for us. And then OpenAI suggested that we use this model. So this is kind of what type of data it is. So if, like, I think you can train your own language models. So we could have probably at some point like created a Twitter accounts language model or something, but then that's how we used to do these things. But now kind of what I think OpenAI has done is like they have these kind of models that are modeled on like so much content from the internet and like all kinds of different sources that we can kind of map real world. So so this model knows that Berlin is in Germany, for instance, because it's learned that from all the text it's consumed.
It's also good that we use that model and not make our own, because then it can be compared to other people and they can also just use it.
And so a lot of this stuff comes from they have pretty good documentation, OpenAI. So
you like that?
Yeah, I like good documentation. Yeah. So here it kind of says like the model, you can use the list model API to see all our available methods, but then they also have examples. And I think they had a semantic search example. So, and they recommended using that model. And the way I figured that out is that I used, because while I was looking into this, Swissec, we're often interested in the same things. So he sent this email out or blog post out like right before I was going to work with it. And his blog posts are usually good. So that was very helpful because he had kind of taken all of the different documentations and put it together here.
Great.
And then he also writes that like he doesn't exactly understand what an embedding is. And also hasn't, and he also saw that, okay, we want to use this text embedding from one of the examples from OpenAI. So hoping to learn more about this in the future, but that's where we're at.
Oh, look at this. Steven is saying something. and I will read it. I've been looking at their documentation. It's nice to see the tech in actual use. So we are the actual use, then, I'm guessing.
Yeah, and I do recommend reading this article from Swissec as well, because it's always good to get two views on the same usage. And then we'll also come out with a video for Xata on how to do all of these 3 different searches, where we'll go through an edited video where I don't ramble, go through all of these 3 different ways of searching data with Xata.
So he says he doesn't really know what an embedding is, but I think that we can just make a decision that the embedding is the X on the map.
Mm-hmm.
So you like the embedding is the X on the map.
Yeah.
But all the other accounts are also embeddings. Is that how it is?
Yeah, so we created 1 embedding per account ahead of time, and then we create 1 embedding for the search term, and then the vector search does a comparison and then prioritizes which ones are the closest.
So the one we pick is the X for the treasure, and then the other ones are like the little dots you get on your phone when you look at the map. That's you or the other accounts. So there's like a bunch of, and then we're going to see who is closest to the treasure, or who is most similar to the treasure.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
That's exactly what we want to do. So first things first is like, let's make a little button on, because if you click this now, it opens Twitter. So let's start with, but also I find it like if you do indie hacker, it's kind of interesting because it does understand a little bit with that as well. Where nobody call themselves indie hackers, but so like indie hacker, you see the people who put that in their bio, not that many. Full text, we get a lot more because it will match different wordings or like ways of writing it. But then here in indie hacker, you could see that at least last time I found some that didn't have like indie hacker, like indie stack, is coming up here. And then also this person who's like building things and indie making. So it kind of understands that these are similar, even if the person hasn't described themselves with the exact word. So first things first, we need to have a little button here to just select the one we want to be more like this.
All right.
So then we need to do const. We need a way to set the account. So selected account, and then set selected account. When we get that, we need to use state. And then we need to be able to send that into these lists so that we can use them in the list. Selected account, set selected account. This is just some housekeeping to get me warm while I think in the back of my mind how we're actually going to solve this.
Yeah, good.
Okay, and then in search results, we want a little button. And then I'll just use the Tailwind classes straight in here, even though I haven't on the other part. So, or let's just let class name. So more like this. Oh, it's already, let's do Germany again. Or Germany. Yeah, so we have them more like this, and then I can't stand looking at it like that, so we'll just create a little button out of it. I pay for the Tailwind components so that I don't have to come up with these things every time. Buttons. So let's do a tiny button. Let's do this little tiny button here. Tiny button. The little tiny button. Okay. And then we need to position it absolutely so that it's on top. So let's do relative. And then this one has to be absolute. Absolute. I can't write absolute. How are we looking? Well, that's looking better. And then we wanted maybe in the top right corner for now.
Yes.
So then we're going to go back to the regular Tailwind CSS. And I know that Steven knows about this because he's just been playing around with it. And I think it's called inset, because we want it to be up there in 03. And then we need to do, oh, in top right. So I thought there was like a shorthand, but let's do top right.
I like it when it's not shorthand.
Right. And then let's do 3 so we get a little bit of spacing. And let's look at how it's looking. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
And then, yeah. And then when we click on it, on click, we want to select the account ID. So here we had selected account and set selected account. So then we want to do set selected account, and then we want the record account ID. Yeah, well, people do keep arguing about that.
Tailwind is awesome. Well, if those that disagree are not here, well, that's their problem.
That is their problem, isn't it? Because we're using it now.
Yep.
And then I want the selected account to be, I want it to be styled a little bit differently. So let's just do a shorthand. So we want this to be relative. But then if the selected account equals record account ID, then we want it to be a different color border, I think. So let's do border green, 800. Okay. So then we should be able to hopefully, if you go back to index, if you go here, if I do more like this, okay, something is wrong. Set selected account is not a, didn't I call it set selected account? We're destructuring it. Did I not spell it right? Set selected account. And then on set selected account. Why is it not?
No.
Then we're gonna get stuck on that and never get to the
Yes. We'll be okay.
the fun part.
Was that just because you wanted a green border when you had selected one?
No, it's that it's saying that set selected account.
Set selected account is that so when you click a button it gets green? So we
no,
don't
it's
really
so that
need it?
No, we need it because we need to know what account we are gonna go and search for similar accounts. So I need it.
Okay. So it's not just to look good. Okay then.
Yeah.
Okay then.
So isn't that correct though from oh, look at that. I copy pasted wrong. So I copy pasted selected account. Okay. Now there we go. Yeah, look, see it's selected. Love it.
Okay.
Love it.
Yeah, I think you should choose the breeding coach later. That's cool.
The breeding coach, yeah.
Breeding coach. I like that.
So I also just want this button to be here if it's not the selected account. So let's do a const is selected. See, now I'm just like I am just procrastinating getting into the stuff that I don't really know.
That's okay. That's good for your brain, probably.
Yeah, I just need to get. I've been coding all day, so I don't know why I need to get into it, but it's always nice to do some coding. That feels good. Oh, I did that too far up. We need to do that within our mapping. There we go.
All right.
There you're not. So if you're not selected, you should show the button. Come on. Germany. Oh, that was very loud.
Yeah, that's okay.
Oh, look at that. Look at that. Whoo!
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Or maybe we should just do disabled. We'll just do disabled. That's prettier. Is selected.
All right.
Now I'm going to stop doing this no matter what. How it looks. Yeah.
You're done.
Select it doesn't work. Okay, I'm just going to do this then. Okay, I'm done. So what we want to do then is that we need to create another column. So we'll do another column here that then is more like, and then more like selected account. And then we don't want to do this type semantic. We want to add another way of searching, and then we'll add in the selected account and set selected account. I'm just going to fix the CSS for that because we then want grid columns 4, so we get 4 columns.
Yes. No results. What happened to our semantic AI now?
I don't know. More like the selected account, and then we did I do some other like fancy stuff with my CSS to make this work earlier? I had to do some weird stuff. The reason this is all in a global is because when I'm doing the demo, when I'm going to make the other video, I don't want to have to deal with CSS in the code. So that's why it's like this. But I'm not the grid master, so I wanted grid, and then I do columns 4, and then I did something fancy to get these title on top. Well, let's see if it sorts itself out.
Yes.
Semantic. This should come under there, and then this should be the 4th one. That text isn't even here.
No.
There we go. It just like it hadn't updated.
Oh. That's
There
evil.
we go.
No?
Yeah. And then we can see now in more like selected account, we are getting the semantic version for Germany, but we want it to be, from the selected account. So let's jump into search results, and we'll make another search type. So we'll do similar. So we'll make a similar version, and then we'll send that to our backend. So we're using API and then the type of search. So we'll duplicate our semantic search and use that for a similar search. So similar, we'll copy paste our semantic search. So in this one, we are using the term, and then we're creating an embedding from the term. But what we want to do here is that I'm just going to write it first. So what we want to do here is that we want to find the account with the selected account ID. And then we want to grab its embedding, and use that for searching.
Yes.
I'm going to do some not so nice things now to overload this use search, because usually there's a term coming in. But for the selected account, it's going to be an account ID. So let's just overload it, and then don't hate on me. So for this one, then, if it is, so we're going to use the account ID, and we don't need to debounce it because we don't select it that fast. And then we'll use the account ID, but we don't want to put that in the query. Okay, let's just should we make another one? We'll make a switch here. So I thought I was just going to overload this super nicely. But I don't think so, because otherwise we're going to kickstart a new search every time the account ID changes. We don't want to do that. I'm thinking. Yes. So if the search is search type similar, type equals, I'll probably refactor this, but let's do this for now. So if it's similar, we want to do it a little bit differently. But then if it's any of those other ones, we'll use the one we had. So here we then want search and type, and then we want account ID to be used as our term. And if there's no account ID, we just return an empty data, and then we'll send in the account ID as our param. So what we're doing here is that we're using React Query. We're saying that it should query our API/similar, and it should send in the account ID as our param if we're on search type similar. And then if we head on over to similar, we then need to grab the account ID that we're sending in, and we'll do it in the same way as we've done for semantic. So we're going to grab the account ID by destructuring it from the request query. And then
There's
we'll
something
need to
wrong
use...
with the account ID there. It's missing a C.
Oh, yeah. Thank you. So then we need to go to Xata and grab this account that matches the account ID. So if I remember my Xata correctly, we want to do await, and then it's Xata DB accounts, and then it's find. And then it should be account ID equals account ID. And the great thing here with Xata is that we can actually... Oh, we can't use queries called conditionally. Okay.
Oh, no.
So let's make both of them and just... So we'll make the similar query. Similar. I might have to break this up completely, but let's see. And then our other search queries. And then if it's similar, let's return similar query. And if not, and then hopefully that should be enough. Search query. There we go. Okay, so let's go back to our similar. I think this is the way we find accounts. But what we can do with Xata is that we can grab whatever we're trying to with our code, and then we can go to our playground. So if we go back to accounts, we can find one account ID. So let's grab this account ID, and then we go to the playground, and we can actually run code in here so that we can check to see if it's correct. And then we use the account ID that we grabbed. And it looks like it's not correct because it's saying that find is not correct. Yeah, accounts find does not exist. So then we can go back to the accounts and we can do a get code snippet, and then we can do get one record. And then it says we can read, but then we need to know the kind of Xata ID. I want to go by the record ID. So I guess it's not in here. But then pagenetic query all, insert, update. I thought they had a find, but maybe they don't. Docs. SDK, creating, getting data. Get many. Get first. Yeah, so we need to do get first, not find. Looks like. So if we go back to the playground, we can see if we can make it work. Get first. And then account. Do I then do filter? Let's see. I haven't needed to find one before. I just like grab a string or grab an array of them. Get paginated, get many, get all. Where's my getting by a record ID? I don't want to do that. Find first.
You don't want to getting a record by ID?
No, I want to get first, but then I can do filter, I guess. So I'll do, yes. So first I filter and then I get first. So
Okay.
let's try again. Filter. We could have sent in the Xata ID, but I didn't. I grabbed the Twitter account ID, so too bad. There we go. Run code. And then we can do console log log record. Then we run the code and we'll see.
Oh,
yes. And now we can see how the embedding looks like. It's not 1 point. You know, look at that. It's like it's a vector or whatever. It's like it's a graph. It's more like this is the graph of this knowledge, and I don't even know what it is. But we can think of it as a point, but it's a magic thing. So let's grab this one then. So we'll find the account. So that's our selected account. And the only thing we need from that actually is we can just select that we only need the embedding if we don't want to have all of the data being sent over, but like we're on the server, so that's fine. So then we'll do account. And what we want to do is we want to search towards all accounts on the column embedding using this embedding that we got on the account. So, you know, so this is our selected account. So let's do that selected account. And then we want to use the account ID. And then we're getting all records that are similar semantically to the selected account that we have. Let's see if this all works. So Germany. Oh, we need to send it in, I guess. Use search. We need to do similar search on the last one. So let's try again. Germany. Okay, so this is no results because we haven't selected anything yet. But then if we select, let's select
the breathing coach. Yes, him, Stefan,
breathing coach.
Breathing coach.
More like this. Let's see if we're getting any results. We're probably getting an error because something too good to be true if this all worked. So we're getting an Axios error. Why are we getting an Axios error?
No.
Filter empty.
Filter.
Oh, so we are not getting, didn't I set an account ID? So you search account ID. I'm probably not sending it to the use search. Yes.
Do you still have that number as the account ID thing?
No,
or
but I
you
need
change
to,
it? You
I need to
changed it
send
back?
in. Yeah. I need to send in the selected account ID.
Yes. Oh.
Okay, so he's a match. Well, that's a good one to know. And then freelance web developer with focus on PHP. Like, I have no idea why these are.
She's in Germany.
Yeah, they're all in Germany.
Johannes Knudsen. He's not in Germany.
No. But I guess the breeding person, what's its typo 3? He's also a developer. So that's what it's matching.
Ah, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
And this guy is called Stefan. We know this Stefan guy.
Yeah, he's also in Germany. So can we find some people that are not? Let's look at Norway because I have some people I know there that are not
developers, undevelopers.
Yeah. So yeah, look at this guy. Mann og ektemann, far til to. So this is husband and man and husband, dad to two, likes music, traveling, food, biking, and the job. Location Oslo, Norway. So let's do more like this.
Okay.
Look at that. We're getting at least in a region. Yeah. Oh, fond of music.
Good.
Glad i musikk. So it's even like matching across languages.
Maybe because he's also Oslo.
Yeah, so it's Oslo, but also dad.
Okay, let's look down then. Go down then.
Yeah. Here we have Oslo.
Molde, Norway.
Yeah. But I think it's interesting that, that this guy is above all the other Norwegians, even though like all of these have Oslo, but this person has fond of music, and dad, which also matches this guy.
Yeah, good job, artificial intelligence.
Artificial intelligence. Okay, let's look at this co-working space. What are we getting then? Oh, Oshamek Makerspace. Yeah, that's a place to go and collaborate. I don't know what Espen has to do with it other than being in Oslo. I guess that's... Oh, my old job, Iterate. Let's see what matches Iterate. Yeah, the CEO of Iterate. See, we're getting somewhere. Innovation Norway. Yeah, they do a lot of like startups now. Okay. This is kind of interesting.
Very good.
What's something else we could search for? Something semantically.
Very cool, says Steven. I agree. Yes,
it is kind of cool.
And this didn't take 2 hours, but maybe Swissec did something more then.
Oh, so Swissec did all of the stuff that we have done here in like the semantic search, and then also creating all the embeddings. And then we are kind of using what I've already done. I've already created semantic search, and now we're just making a similar search, which is very similar to semantic search, but we're now using a whole account embedding instead of just a keyword embedding for this for this column.
And that is very cool.
Yeah, but Steven, do you have something we should search for? Let's search for Tailwind.
And it's very cool, especially if you're like working here with prune your follows and you're like trying to get rid of some accounts. It's like, yeah, you can go on Tailwind there, and then you can find the Tailwind haters, and then you can like match up.
So I took the founder of Tailwind, and now we're getting like a lot of other Tailwind accounts, which would make sense since it says Tailwind, like it's got word matches. And then I don't know if it matches on maybe name. So maybe name isn't such a, maybe I shouldn't include the name in this because like that.
But that's
like
the first
all of
thing
these atoms. Like suddenly we're matching all the atoms of my.
But you did that. You had name there in the thing.
I did. Yeah. And I also had the following count just so that, maybe if he has a lot of followers, then others that have a lot of followers, we could add that in. If we just do a little bit of an HR
so can you remove
here.
the name thing?
And then I had to recreate the embedding for all 5,000 accounts.
Oh,
and
okay, don't do that.
Took me on the free plan. That took me a full day and a half because you're only allowed to do 20 embeddings a minute. They say, but I managed to do 60 a minute. But then I had to just set up a Zapier that kept hitting an endpoint, and I set that up to like run every half hour or something. And I had it running to just like get all of these embeddings done for today. But yeah.
So let's not remove name then.
Yeah, not right now. But we could, but we could, instead of, because what we're doing here, is that we are creating this, we're grabbing the embedding from that account, but we could create our own new embedding where we don't include the name if we want to test that.
Okay, we have something here. Are you ready? Yeah. I'll read it out. A big event that happened here last night was Relativity Space had their first rocket launch. It would be interesting to see anything related to that or their CEO, Tim Ellis. Tim Ellis? So, isn't he like some other dude? I'm mixing it up.
Yeah. So that would be interesting because I don't think because these are only the people I follow. So I follow 5,000 people, but
Jackulus, yeah, that's the guy I was thinking about. Yeah.
So no, I don't know if but let's called relativity space. Is that it's relativity space?
Maybe you should just do space. I don't think.
Yeah. So this is our semantic search. Relatively. Yeah. I don't think that I would need all of Twitter for this.
But try space.
Oh, but pop-up space. Let's see what's more like that. Pop, Arbit, Popsy, Cosmic. This is cool, but let's go back to the Adam example. That would be a little bit fun. So instead of using the similarity search that we've been using, oh, what's your company? Says Steven again. We can do some similar accounts on that.
I read it out while I was muted. Okay, let's find his company. I'll just go Edge.
It's a Go Gravital. Well, let's see. More like you, Steven. Well, yes. Gravital is more like you. That's cool.
And Andrew, and you know Andrew.
Andrew and Dan. Oh, you're in good company with these people who are in the Jamstack API. Yeah, it is matching up pretty good because you have the Jamstack Advocate. You have some things on there, and you do Go Gravital, so it's matched this one. And I guess this person has Jamstack and Gatsby. Cool. Okay, but let's try then semantic by creating our own search term. So now I'm going to cheat a little bit. So let's do another similar index. Now I just want to test this out. So more like this selected account using like this selected embedding, I guess, embedding. And then more like this description. Could be cool. More like this description. So what we want to use then is again, we want to use semantic search. And then we want to do the selected. Then we want to, instead of the term here, we want to do the description as our term. So I guess selected account. Oh no, because I don't have the full account. I can't do the full account. Well, let's do the full account. Okay, so let me refactor. So instead of doing record account ID, we'll do the full record as a selected account, and then we'll need to do selected account ID equals. See, now it was good that I had is selected there, because then, you know, I could change that and still use that is selected in 2 places without having to change it 2 places.
Yeah.
So that's cool. But then inside of use search, we then need the accounts. We do selected account ID. And then in our index here now, our search term can then be selected account description. But if we want to do it even more equal to what I had, then we can do description : and then the semantic search here now. So let's walk through this. So I'm saying search result. I want it to be description, and then the selected accounts description. And then I'm saying I want semantic search. And if we go to search results, it sends then the term into use search. And use search then with the type is sent to API and then semantic. So if we go to semantic, we can see that we grab the term and then we ask OpenAI to create an embedding. And now then the embedding will be description : and then the description, which would be similar to the ones that I have created ahead of time for everyone. So now we're like trying to just match this, like, this part of the the semantic meeting. So that's why I added the description : in front of our description. I don't know if that's helpful or not. Okay. Oh, and now we need to change our gap to, or a grid to 5.
All right.
I think I messed something up. So more like this.
Wait a minute. What is it more like description? Oh, we have a question again. Where's my pen? Here's my pen. Did you see this? How recent do you think the data is you're pulling from? That could have an effect on results.
Yes. So I think so. The data that I've collected on the accounts are fairly new. But then the embeddings are created using the knowledge that OpenAI has, and OpenAI stopped training at the end of 2021, I think. So yeah, you're correct. With like current events, it wouldn't know how to kind of map its semantic meaning.
But is that the data though? That's not the data. What you said now is the.
Yeah, it depends on what's
technology
meant by the
behind.
data. So the
I think-
data that the data that we have is pretty new, but the data that so when it takes that our data or our input and creates this embedding, that embedding is put into the knowledge map that OpenAI has, and that knowledge map about what actually kind of is, or knowledge graph, I guess, about, because I think it's 3-dimensional. Anyway, the knowledge graphs information about, like, you know, Berlin being in Germany. If for some reason Berlin was no longer in Germany, and that happened this year, OpenAI would still think that Berlin is a part of Germany because in 2021 it was a part of Germany. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah. So I just did some refactoring without refactoring everywhere. So, oh, but
So what are you trying to do now?
What I'm trying to do is make a third column. So this one, if we select an account, it will go off and take the embedding from the account we select and search it against the embeddings for all the accounts to find similar accounts.
Yep.
But then for this column, instead of taking the embedding for the whole account, we're just going to create an embedding for the description and then search that against all accounts. So if we do the Adam again, or we do Tailwind.
So now you're not using the embeddings anymore, or just the description in the embedding.
Yeah, I'm creating a new embedding on the go from the description.
But you're using the old embeddings for all the accounts, but you're only reading the description thingy from that.
Yeah, so you have kind of two you have the embedding that you're creating. This is what we're searching for, the treasure.
Yes.
Yeah. And then the embedding, like the treasure embedding, we take that and then we look at how far is it away from the embedding created for each account.
But now it's only description and not name.
Now the treasure only has description and not name, location, and username.
Yeah.
And then we'll see if that is helpful. But
because it was a little bit boring that it was a name. Yeah.
So now if we do Adam,
I mean, yeah.
Let's see what we get. But I've done something wrong.
Script. We get the script because it's the description. Just kidding.
It might be.
That would be weird. Why are the descriptions so short? You know what I'm saying? Oh, he has kind of a short description, doesn't he?
Yeah. Because he has creator of Tailwind and listener of Slayer, Austin 316. But something is wrong with my code.
What is
now we're like
316 then?
I don't know. Because we're kind of YOLOing now because the filter is empty again. Why is that? Because we now have account ID.
Very good question, Stephen. Thanks.
But we only do.
Yeah, the results were a little bit weird, weren't they?
Yeah, it's because I started just YOLO refactoring, so now I'm like lost my place. So for more like selected embedding, we're sending in the selected account.
Oh, he was referring. Okay, right. I was referring to the AI data, but that helps. I saw on Twitter today they're hooking up ChatGPT to the internet. Currently, is limited to dates, events, and people prior to September 2021. Yeah.
But why aren't our?
So it is that. So he was referring to the data that they put into their model on their side.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But I
But
don't understand why we're not getting any. Maybe more like Steven, we're not getting any in this column.
you probably stopped it.
No, we're getting some error because somewhere along the way, my refactoring of the set selected account doesn't work.
Oh.
So I'm doing search results similar.
And it's the
Selected
same.
account. Yeah.
It's the same as it did.
Yeah. And then I'm sending in the selected account ID.
Okay.
And then I'm using the account ID. And if there's no account ID, I'm returning it. So why is it not working? This is what I get for YOLOing. Well, you're supposed to stop me from YOLOing.
Oh yeah? Why?
Yeah. I don't know. So we get to bed.
Oh, are we done?
Okay, it's undefined. It's undefined. Why is okay, so let's do
Are we done? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, what? No, I wanna fix it because now it's not.
So we should
Selected account. We'll see. Selected account. Why are you undefined then? Why are you undefined? When I have a selected account, I am sending it in to search result.
So
selected. And then it should be like 5 times. It's undefined.
So maybe I can show off the what you call them, the thing that Steven was talking about here, the rocket launch.
Yeah, cool. Do that.
Here it is. Okay, bye, Steven. He's leaving. Here's the rocket launch in his neighborhood.
I'm leaving on a rocket. Isn't that a song? Leaving on a
something plane.
Plane.
Okay. Good luck in your meeting.
Have fun. We should also quit by now. Thank you for joining us.
This rocket launch looks groovy. I put your code back in there. Woot! He says woot! Woot! So that's good. Yeah. Okay. But yeah, we should.
Oh, I have 3. Oh my god, I have 3 C's. Are you kidding me?
That's it, but Steven think that's cool. Look, he put 3 fires and you said 3 C's. That's good. Okay.
Oh, we did it. Okay, so let's see. So
now everything's working.
Well, if we do Adam again, more like Adam. So I'm just gonna. We need to have these.
Yeah, Adam.
I did 3 C's again. Okay. So Adam is selected. And we're getting tailwind. We're getting some tailwind. And then we're getting a ton of Adams. You see?
Yeah.
Because, But then when we only use the description, we're getting almost nobody.
This is even worse. This is bad. Oh, no. Look at these people. There's Martin Grimeland. He was there. He's the same kind of guy.
Okay, so let's try another search term then. So we had description, but if I did description, like you said, I think that's why we got Descript. But if we do location as well, then I think maybe location. Let's see. Ja, Lilla? Okay. Oh, we've lost Million Tillycam.
Yep, I know, but I didn't want to interrupt you.
Yeah. So now I took the location as well, and
that doesn't work. His location is Canada.
Yeah. Oh, it's Meta. Well, sorry, it's Meta location.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
now we have location Canada.
Yes.
So it seems like his kind of creator of Tailwind, listener of Slayer, didn't give us much in terms of.
I can understand. So Slayer...
Oh no, sorry, it's meta description. That's why. As well, it's meta description. So we were matching. We were creating an embedding for an empty string.
Oh no!
Look at that, because we should be getting him. Yeah, and then we get Tailwind, then we get Pro, and then we're not getting Adams. Look at that. We're getting other people with, yeah. So that, maybe we shouldn't, if we're going to make one of these more like this accounts, maybe we shouldn't include the name, because that's not as interesting.
But there's no Slayer. Nobody's listening to Slayer. Sorry, Adam. That's yeah.
And then Steven here is also Tailwinder.
Okay.
So yeah, and you see this one, I think this guy's name's Steve, so that's why it's matching on more like, but this one, Yeah, so that was a good find. Like, maybe not put name in there, because I thought maybe OpenAI would be smarter than that when it came to like, since I said like name colon and stuff like that it would understand that names aren't that interesting, but obviously it doesn't know that.
Why did you put it in then?
I don't know. I thought like, I want to take this full account and then I want to match it. I want to give, because some people have usernames that kind of have more meaning. But like Adam doesn't really have any meaning.
So let's do this question then. So how intelligent is this artificial intelligence then, just from what you've seen today? On a scale from 0 to 9, where 9 is superhuman intelligence, how many points are you going to give it?
6.
Oh, that's generous. That's generous.
No, but I think it's really, really good. So let's do, if we do Steven, like it's finding. So now we're just doing the description here.
Hello.
Yeah. But like, why is this where I have the, that's because of the location, I guess. Yes, if we put the location back in here, because I think the location is still interesting. So let's do description, colon, and then location. I think also there is something to be said with these things, is that sometimes you need to know kind of what, how to feed data to it as well. Like what is the best way of feeding data to the AI? Like what are the prompts you should give it and stuff like that. So if we do more like this on Steven now again with location, yeah, because he's putting Space Coast, that's his location. And then when I use name and username, for some reason, Andrew is closer to him than this guy. It's probably also because I think in the embedding, I also added followers and following. So that might have something to do with it, that Andrew has a closer number of followers to Steven than this Val guy has. Interesting.
Yes. I just told the Pride Princess that we're soon done.
Yeah.
And she didn't get angry.
Oh, that's good.
That's amazing. I like that. So should we plug our podcast then, maybe? Or no? You don't have to.
Yeah. Data in the Wild.
Data in the Wild. So who's our next guest?
It's Anna Mast, currently of Subscribe Sends and formerly of Boondockers. Welcome.
Yeah. That's going to be good.
It is. Just going to see how much these numbers actually. Followers, have to say. Isn't it public ID? Let me see. Public metrics. Yeah, public metrics, and then it's followers count and following count.
Okay. Okay then. Okay then.
Yeah, so you can see that here now that I put the following count on, which I also in this one we also match on the following and follower count. You can see that Andrew, is a little closer than this guy who has like has a different set of numbers.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because here we're getting some people with a lot of followers, and that doesn't match Steven, who has a little less followers. So that actually works, because my idea was that, you're looking for somebody similar. You also want to look at like similar reach and stuff like that. Okay.
All right. Let's wrap it up.
Let's wrap it up. So originally I had a demo with partial match search, fuzzy or full text, fuzzy text, fuzzy search, and then semantic search, all from Xata, which we use as the backend. And then I wanted to add a more like this type feature, or explore a more like this feature to see if that's something we could have in Prune Your Follows. So we added just a little button so that you can do more like this. So if we choose, let's choose this Dan person, Dan Prattling. If we do more like him, now it has nothing to do with this over here. It's not the best UI, but Dan Prattling, you're seeing that we're getting Skyward Agency, which I think is his agency. Yes. Yeah. And then we're getting other people that are obviously interested in UX and Jamstack. So in this column, we are matching on everything you see. So we're taking all the data you can see, and then we match it, or we kind of we let OpenAI create OpenAI has created an embedding, which is like a point in the vast knowledge universe, and created one for every account. And in this column, we are then taking all this information and searching towards all that information. While in this column, we're just using the description and location. So that's where we're getting a little bit different results. So we're not matching on name, for instance. And then this guy has changed location. But then, yeah, interesting.
Yes.
Interesting.
Okay, so that was the what and the why.
Yes, and the what, no, and the how. Yeah. So ahead of time, I have created embeddings for all the records using this input, and I think maybe we need to change that and remove some of it, maybe the name and username, because that's not that interesting. So I created an embedding for every record using OpenAI. And then when we do similar search, we get the embedding from the account that we have selected, and we search towards all of the records we had using vector search to see which ones are semantically closest to the selected account.
Oh, yeah.
And why? It's because we want to help you find more accounts to unfollow. So my plan for Prune Your Follows, or my idea now, is that you will be able to maybe we'll look, oh, now I'm on Ray Codes the API. Okay, that was wrong. That's going to take some, I don't follow anyone there. Okay, let's go to my regular Twitter, or my regular blah, blah, blah. My thinking is that maybe, and think with me, Ulla, is that I thought maybe we can look at all the unfollowed, and then we could have a suggested to unfollow. So you can look at all the, we'll look at all the people, all the accounts that somebody has unfollowed, and then we'll do a vector search on each one of them. And then people who come up in more of these searches, we can recommend them as accounts to potentially unfollow.
Yes. Or we could just do okay,
more like this.
We can say, okay, the latest you unfollowed. and get it up.
Yeah.
Suggestions, because then you can just click like here. Okay, I unfollow this James dude, and then you get suggestions, and you're like, no, I want it more like this, and this guy's perfect, and then you can just go click, 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 click after that.
Yeah.
And maybe choose many. Can you choose many at a time? No.
That's a violation of the Twitter API
Okay,
guidelines.
so then you just keep on clicking those that are similar, and then just yeah. Okay,
yeah,
then.
so when if you go here on overpopular and you see James and something, and then you unfollow James, then you can get a little sidebar here with other people you might want to unfollow.
Yes, but what are we doing next time then?
Next week?
Yep.
For this show? I'm not sure. I think maybe we're gonna do something as boring as actually setting it up so we can start sending out emails to people who have been asked to be reminded once a week to unfollow people.
Okay.
And then also give them an option in here to add their email and change their email if they want to.
So maybe that's what we should do after a while. Then they should get an email with like a suggested unfollow this dude based on the latest dude you unfollowed.
Yeah, that could be cool.
Swift.
I just started following her.
It's me.
It's her latest hit single. You do not say anything about Taylor Swift. If you haven't listened,
her latest single is "I'm the Problem." It's me.
I don't think it's called that, but that's the intro.
Okay, good. Yeah, she's got some followers there, and she's not following anybody.
I mean, when you're of that size,
just
don't start follow, because that's going to be a major. Like, if she starts following one person, it's going to be like a big fight. Like, why aren't you following me? You know.
I know. One of the guys you studied with, he unfollowed some people on Facebook back in the day, and then the dude's mother called him up, and she was like, "Why do you unfollow my son on Facebook?" And he was like, "You know what? This is not gonna get him back on the list. This is just proving my point," or something like that. No, maybe.
Okay, get Lillian over here, and then we'll.
No, the comment. She just have to finish up the air of. Men det er nå det skjer, altså. Skal ikke du gjøre det etterpå? Kom nå. Gjør det etterpå, du.
Ja, jeg gjør det.
She's coming.
Ja, det var 2 per en.
Opp.
De må også si det.
I'm very sorry that we lost Millie and Tilly there. Like.
Men hvorfor Millie og Tilly
borte?
I think they used more electricity. The phone used more electricity streaming than it was getting. So.
Millie og Tilly ville være med!
Ok, Lilian, jeg teller til 3. Nei, du må gjøre det ordentlig. Hvilken hånd skal du holde med? Sånn, ja. Ok. 1, 2, 3. The band.
So I see some new people just joined. You're getting our
is this a finished song? Okay,
feel free to say goodbye in the chat and then listen to this song.
You need a Pruny Falls treasure hunt with James the Queen Raae, and our guest was the pirate princess Junior Dev.
Bye bye.